Hello, this is round 4 of the of my sealed PTQ on Friday the 17th of September. Round 4, game 1. Um, I lose this one, and I think this is an interesting game because I have several decisions to make, and I think I make a lot of them wrong. So I win the die roll. I play first. I think I made that decision correctly. And this is my opening hand. Um, it's lacking many threats. So if my opponent's playing any sort of row removal, this initial hand isn't that great. But I figure, I've got Cultivate. Should I hit my third land, and I've got Crystal Ball to help me dig into more. So I kept it because I felt it was strong enough. I have 2 turns to draw the land. So first few turns are pretty dull. I rip the forest on my second turn, so everything's okay there. He does nothing on his second turn, so I lay the forest and cultivate for cultivate for an island and a swamp, just so that if I happen to draw the Doomblade, I'll at least have it to play it. His turn 3, he plays Cloud Elemental, and I untap, and I'll have 5 mana this turn. So obviously I have a number of options. I can drop a land and either cultivate. Well, I can cast anything in my hand. Um, I got it in my mind that okay, so we just played a Cloud Elemental, which doesn't interact at all with my Juggernaut. So I figure laying Juggernaut is a fairly decent play here, as it gives me a clock on him and forces him to have to react to me. Um, it's debatable whether or not this is the right play. I think you could definitely think about playing Crystal Ball or Force C here because I'm not facing down much pressure. It's only turn 3 or it's his turn, end of his turn 3. So it'd be surprising if I was facing down a lot of pressure, but um, I don't know. I think most of the plays are probably justifiable. Even Cultivate would probably be fairly strong, as that would allow me to do more on my next turn. But it would sort of give me nothing to really do this turn. Um, I think probably the strongest play. I don't even know what the strongest play is. Um, Maybe you go Cultivate this turn, next turn Crystal Ball and Juggernaut. That might be better. I don't know. It's tough. Hmm. I still don't know what the right play is here. I went with the Juggernaut, simply I draw Sylvan Ranger this turn, which I guess does give me a few more options. I can now Cultivate and Sylvan Ranger, or Crystal Ball and Sylvan Ranger, just to maximize my mana usage as well. But I end up going with just Juggernaut. I leave Giant Growth mana up in case he has a burn spell, which is so unbelievably unlikely. Perhaps Cultivate Sylvan Ranger seems pretty strong, as that gets 3 lands out of my deck and allows me to do a lot of stuff next turn. So that might have been the right play, is to cast all my mana fixing and just run it all out there. He swings in with Cloud Elemental, why not? Drops a land and plays Gargoyle Sentinel. So as I untap, I have several options. I draw the Ice Cage, which would allow me to remove the Gargoyle Sentinel, at least for this turn. I thought about running that out, but I figured I should save it for any other more significant threats that he has. I also had the Giant Growth, so I decided that if he went to block, I'd Giant Growth it. I don't think this is the right play. It's just letting him. it's making me waste my giant growth, basically. It's, you know, Juggernaut trading for Gargoyle Sentinel is probably not the end of the world, and I could have done more with my mana this turn, I think. Um, so what I end up doing is swinging with Juggernaut and Giant Growthing when he blocks. Probably could have so many options, you know? Run out 4C. 4C seems like the worst play here. Well, not the worst play because you're still playing 4C. I don't know. I really should have ramped last turn so that I could have actually done more this turn. Just facing down a Cloud Elemental and him being tapped out. If I ramp up to 7 mana right now, I'm in a fairly good position. But let's say I didn't make that decision because I didn't. If I Ice Cage it, my Juggernaut probably gets in unmolested, which puts him on a 4-turn clock, which he'll probably have an answer for at some point because he's blue-green. Is he not playing creatures? Pretty unlikely. I have not dropped a land this turn, so if I go, I could have gone, Sylvan Ranger 4C, which is not bad at all, come to think of it. Gets me a lot of options. Trades my Juggernaut with his Sentinel. I think that might actually be the right play here. But anyway, as I said, I swing in, he blocks, I Giant Growth it to save my Juggernaut, and that goes to the graveyard. Then I cast Sylvan Ranger, find an island, and cast Crystal Ball, so I can start, smoothing out my draws. Probably letting Juggernaut die and going Sylvan Ranger into 4C is a stronger play here, I think. Because again, I'm just facing down a Cloud Elemental at this point, so I don't really see the purpose in burning Giant Growth on something that if he's willing to trade that, then that's just one fewer creature I have to worry about. So he swings in with Cloud Elemental, and then says, "Wreck me with Air Servant."